Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you've been thinking about starting an online business for a while, I think now is the best time for you to start one, because with all the craziness that's been happening in the world lately, more businesses have been forced to operate online, and more people have been basically been forced to actually get alternative source of incomes online. By the way, if this is your first time to my channel, I just want to say a big welcome. I make easy to follow videos on things like personal development, starting online businesses, and making money with art, graphics, and animation. My goal on this channel is to share how to start a sustainable online business and how to create value from scratch. The main aim is to show that it can be done and hopefully to inspire someone else to do the same. So if you're into any of these topics, please subscribe down. And I would really love it if you can actually hit that like button, because that really helps my channel out a lot. So let's jump into it. So in this video, I'll be coming up with my very first online business idea. But the problem is, I don't really know where to start. I'm sure most of you will be like, how can he not know what he's going to do? How can he not have an idea of what he's going to start a business about? But the truth is, you don't really need to know the exact details of everything. You just have to have an idea. It's not necessary for you to know all the fine details when you're starting a business idea. Honestly, the hardest part is just starting and having the mindset that whatever it is you do decide to do, you're going to see it through and you're going to make it a success. And so, with the right mindset in place, I'm going to be attempting to come up with 2 or 3 ideas I will be starting up and nurturing to success. I'm also going to be trying to document the process, just so anybody watching these videos can basically learn from my trials and errors and be able to replicate the same level of success I'll end up attaining. So how do I come up with an awesome business idea that suits me, my skills, and my level of resources? Well, before I can answer that question, I think the best place for me to start is to ask myself, what am I really interested in? What do I love doing, even if I don't get paid for it? What is my passion? Well, there are a number of things that fits that category. I love swimming, I love doing illustrations, I love writing stories, I love charity work too, graphics design, watching movies, making animations, spontaneously busting into discussions about anime, among other things. But honestly, not all those stuffs can be easily translated into a sustainable business. So I guess this is the part you just have to be honest with yourself, basically, and really think about what are my top skills. My top skills will probably be graphics design, illustrations, writing stories, and making animations. So now that I've narrowed down my skills into about 3 things, now it's time to think about what exactly can I do with those 3 skill sets. Frankly, there's a lot you can do with those skill sets, but I'd like to break it down into 2 categories, and that is service and product. So the question is, do I want to make a product or do I want to offer a service? I believe either ways, there are a lot of potentials to creating a sustainable online business, but each option has its pros and cons. For example, an advantage of offering a service is that you get to work with multiple clients on various projects, which allows you to have a broad experience, and it improves your ability to manage people, like manage clients basically when you're interacting with them. And if you do a good job and you're professional, you have a lot of word of mouth referrals. Some of the disadvantages is that you have to play a very active role in delivering on the services that you've promised your clients. Because each time you have a job, you have to dedicate a certain amount of time to actually fulfill the orders of that unique client. And if you have multiple jobs, you have to actually dedicate individual times to specific clients' projects. So basically, you're trading your time for money. An advantage of making a product is that you can play a passive role once the product has been created. Especially if it is a digital product, once it's created, you can essentially resell to multiple people without investing much of your time when someone else places a new order, because the product has already been developed. However, it actually takes a longer time to develop a good product, and it also takes time to study your audience and kind of study what they want and come up with a good product that they are willing to pay for. Another key difference, especially when it comes to creatives, is that the client has the final say basically on how he or she wants the final project to turn out. So essentially they have a veto power. If they say, oh look, I don't like the way you that color, it doesn't go with that, or they don't like the concept, you essentially have to change it because you're offering a service. And that sometimes can limit your creativity when you're working with certain clients, and it can basically warp your style into something that you originally did not intend to produce. But when you're developing a product, essentially you have the creative freedom to basically come up with how you want the final project to actually turn out. For me, the product route seems to be the more attractive option because it's easier to build a passive income by developing a product. Also, because I have a lot of things going on, I can't afford to be actively involved in too many projects, which may sometimes be unscheduled. So now I know what skill set I want to use, and I know I want to develop a product. And I also know that I have little or no funds to invest in the business upfront. So the question is, what product can I create that will cost me nothing to make and I can sell at a profit? Yeah, I know it sounds impossible, right? But after brainstorming and scribbling out a couple of ideas on paper, I came up with a short list of possible products I could potentially create from scratch. So here are some of my ideas. Number 1, I could potentially create an animation series. Number 2 is I could create an animation short course, just basically introducing people to the basic principles of animation. Number 3 is that I can create a video short course on how to draw. Number 4 is that I could write and illustrate children's storybooks. Number 5 is that I could create custom graphics design for t-shirts and other merchandise. And number 6 is that I could create coloring books for kids and sell that online. So now that I've come up with about 6 different ideas of things I could potentially do, I think I need to streamline it a bit just so I could focus on 2 or 3 of them, because some of them actually take a long time to do, such as the animation. I've actually tried doing that in the past, creating an animation all by myself, and trust me, it's not a good idea. Animation is a teamwork, and judging with my current level of resources, I really don't have enough to kind of get a team around me and pay some people to actually put in valuable hours into creating the animation series or the animated series. So I think even though making an animated series, it's really something I would really love to do, I think it's wiser, it's more practicable to kind of delay that a bit till when I have enough resource to go into that. Creating a video course is also an awesome idea, but at the moment I don't really think there's anybody asking for that right now. So sometimes in the future, probably people may ask, oh, why don't you do a video tutorial on certain subject? And then yeah, that would be kind of like an opportunity I'll be willing to explore a bit later in future. So the animated series and the video course are basically off the list. So that leaves me my top 3 ideas, which are writing and illustrating storybooks for kids, creating custom graphics design for t-shirts and other merchandise such as cups, mugs, and etc., and making coloring books for kids as well. Of course, I know these ideas are not the most original ones, but nobody ever said you need to reinvent the wheel to be successful. The next thing I have to decide on is, where exactly am I going to sell these products once they are produced? Yeah, ideally, I should have an e-commerce website where I can display some of my products. So currently, I have a lot on my plate and I can't afford to invest a lot of money upfront on something like an e-commerce website, maybe like a Shopify website or something like that. And even if I could, I don't have any products at the moment to actually display on that website once it goes live, so I can immediately start making sales. Also, even if I did have some products to display on the website, I really don't have an audience to sell it to at the moment. But should I let that stop me? No. There's always an alternative these days. There's always some website, there's always a tool to use, there's always some way around it that it's only if you're actually looking for an excuse not to start an online business, that's the only time you really won't start an online business, really. So basically, the only barrier to your success is you, because there's always a way around it, and you just have to think about something more creative to solve the problem. Yeah, so there are platforms such as Redbubble, Etsy, Match by Amazon, which are basically available for free with no upfront cost. Those are reasonable alternatives for you to kind of like build your business and make some initial sales, get a feel for how the business would run smoothly, and then make the gradual transition into your own personal website, which is what I plan to do. So after gaining some tractions on those third-party platforms and making some sales, and making some trial and errors and learning a couple of things along the line, I think I would be in a better position to then set up my website, based on some of the things I've learned on those third-party platforms, and I think that will put me in a better position and it will save me more cost overall, and I would by then would have been able to kind of build sort of an audience that when I'm launching my platform, my website, I could then kind of introduce them and say, hey, I'm actually launching my own personal website. Hey, you guys want to check out some of those things I have there. So basically, I think that's the plan I'm going with right now. Also, by the time I create my own e-commerce website, I would have already had a whole lot of products which I would have been selling on those previous platforms. So I could take those products and just basically upload them to the new platform, which is my personal website, and that way I can immediately start making sales and kind of cover the cost of that creating a website. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next video to find out what platform I'm going to be using to start my online business. Till next time, I'll see you later.